Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon. I am the Moon Mama. Today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is the day that Mercury rules. And Mercury is currently just stepped into Aries, just transited into Aries overnight. We have had a Mercury retrograde that just ended a few days ago, and now Mercury is finishing out its final shadow piece. So Mercury started its retrograde in Aries, tracked back into Pisces, and now last night, it left Pisces and is going back into Aries. And today it is conjunct Neptune. So Mercury is our perception, our mind, and how we think and how we perceive reality. It's the story we're telling ourselves about reality. This is such an important thing. And as I study and understand how these conversations are actually lived out, like, perception, they always say, the perception always wins. So everyone's perception is different from the angle that you actually are perceiving it, right? So one person can see me and perceive, might be like, oh, she looks like my grandmother or an auntie of mine. And it brings up all of these experiences that create meaning because of the way they perceive me, right? And everyone's perception is different. And perception is something that's usually programmed in our childhood. I remember when I was a little girl, my grandmother would always comment on people. She didn't drive, and someone always had to drive her, and she would sit in the passenger seat. And as people would walk across the street, she would comment on their bodies and, judge them. She would judge them, is what she would do. And that programmed me. Like, me listening to her judge them made me feel a certain way, made me feel bad about myself, or it made me feel like, oh, my grandmother is, whatever it is, right? But this is how perception works. It's literally the stories, the narratives that create the reality we're experiencing, that form our behaviors, our thoughts, our perception, our stories. And Neptune is our consciousness. So while Neptune and Mercury are together, this is an incredible opportunity because Neptune just got to Aries. So Aries is the self. And now the question is, how do you perceive yourself? What is the story you're telling about yourself? Are you telling a story that, things don't work out for you? It's so hard. Why is it happening this way? I never get what I want. Or are you telling the story of that I learn from everything that occurs to me? I'm always making progress. I always have everything I need. Things are always working out for me, no matter what it looks like. Like, these are the stories about yourself. Are you telling the story like when you look in the mirror, you're like, I feel beautiful, I feel healthy, I feel strong? What story are you telling yourself? Because the story creates the experience. And we have been conditioned and trained to believe that the experience creates the story. And that's not true. Neptune is also the ruler of our ancestral codes. So the stories that we're telling are often inherited from those who've come before us. There's that old story. Have you guys heard that story where they're like, a daughter and her mother were cooking a roast, and the mother got out the pan and they seasoned the roast and all that sort of stuff, and then the mother cut the edges off and put the roast in the pan and cooked it. And the daughter said, why are you cutting the edges off? And she said, this is what my mother taught me. And so she went to her mother's mother, and she said, they were talking about the roast, and then she asked, why did you cut the ends off? And the grandmother said, because the pot was small. I didn't have a big enough pot, so I had to cut the ends off. And so her mother had a big enough pot, but was still cutting the ends off because that was what she was taught. She didn't question it, right? So Neptune is the patterns, right? Like one of the things that I know, like I love herbs and healing in that way. My grandmother taught that to me. That's a pattern that was passed down. What are the patterns that you're holding? And today is a really great day to begin to recode the patterns by understanding that if you tell yourself something different, you can have a different experience. One of the patterns that I am working, that I am loving myself through right now, is the ways that I have given my power away to the external realm, the way I look for validation outside of myself, the way I have been competitive, the way I deny my feelings and emotions for what's going on. These are ancestral patterns that have been passed down to me. And so today is a day that I will be doing ritual practices to really begin to recode the story of myself, like who I say I am. So the moon is in Sagittarius, and the moon in Sagittarius is about our faith. It's about expansion and blessings. And the moon just came out of Scorpio yesterday. So Scorpio is where we went deep into the underworld and we literally moved through our shadow patterns to let go of the old things that don't serve us, which is what I'm talking about still. But because the moon is in Sag, this is like the final, these are like the final stages of this. Like, because Sag says, okay, we're going on an adventure. So it's like who you are, come, like have faith in yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, really. And so what do you need to do in order to believe in yourself? What do you need to do in order to solidify the new codes, the new identity that you are taking on for yourself? It's very interesting. I'm gonna tell y'all, every morning for the past few days, last night I was up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I couldn't sleep, which is fine. But I'm so aware of all the new energy and all the new information, the new codes that are coming in. And I really hope that you guys are understanding that the world is really fucking changing. Like, it's not going to be the same, y'all. It's not going to be the same. We're watching as Trump deregulates all these American systems that have been in place. I personally think it's the most glorious thing ever because this is going to free Black people in a way that we don't even know we need it to be free. You know how you get something and you're like, I didn't even know I needed this, but damn, I'm so happy I got it. That's what this man is doing. He is completely breaking down a system that was built for one specific reason, which was to suppress Black people. That's what the system was built for. The whole system is built for that. But we don't believe that. We don't, some of us believe it, but people who are not Black don't get it at all because they're just participating and thinking like, oh, no, the whole system was designed to oppress and extricate the energy of Black people. And he is totally disrupting it. He is totally annihilating it. And one of the things that's really helping for me is that when I was pregnant, I was in my kitchen one day. I was in my kitchen one day. I lived somewhere else. I lived in Leimert Park. And a voice inside of me spoke so loud that I heard it outside. It said, everything is over. It's obsolete, like rotten milk. It has to be thrown out. It is completely decayed. And so, because we are living in a decayed system, you get to ask yourself, where does the decay exist in you? And that's why I'm doing this work, so that we can so that we can shift from the old way of being and into a new, because the old is decayed. Our old way of doing relationships, our old way of doing economy, our old way of doing health, it's all decayed. It's rotten like spoiled milk. It has to be thrown out. So I love that. You said you watched The Wiz last night. Girl, I love The Wiz. So as we're watching the world come undone, feeling the world come undone, because I can feel it. I'm not really watching it. I feel it though. One of the things that is very important is for us to know that the external world is not the real world. It is the illusion. And Neptune also rules the illusions. So the more we ask ourselves, what is true for me? Like that's the thing. Because the world, it's not going to collapse in a way that we might perceive it. It's what's happening is the energy on the planet is changing. So whatever your energetic system is, if your energetic system is one of prosperity and self-love and oneness and truth, then you will experience that. You're going to experience your perceived your perceived narrative. That's why I'm like, what are you telling yourself, right? If you're telling yourself this is the worst thing ever, you're going to experience the worst thing ever. If you're telling yourself, I'm so grateful, this is the best thing ever, you're going to experience it as the best thing ever. But that also depends upon the frequency of trauma that you're carrying. Because if you're heavy and weighed down, you won't be able to lighten up to actually access the new codes to be able to hold the light. You got to hold the light. And that's what I have, been experiencing for myself. Like as I detox and change my eating habits and my thinking habits and my ways of being, it's requiring that I'm able to hold more light, that my energy body is actually stronger. So I was just texting on here with not texting, but having a conversation with one of my followers here, Trudy, and she was saying that one of the things she's focusing on right now is getting her body really strong so you can hold more light. And that's what we're all up to. Let me tell you, whoever just said he was not doing it for us, what difference does it make? It makes not a fucking difference at all. It's all for us. It's all for us. I don't, that's the thing that as Black people, we are, we're so caught up in the ego of, because of white supremacy. And I get it. I'm not mad at it. I understand. But because of it, we miss our own capacity to actually have the power and the benefit. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, um, he said, what about all the harm and human rights violations that have been going on for 500 years in this country? What about that? Like, I'm having a cosmic conversation. Like, I don't give a fuck about this shit. I really want you guys to understand. I don't care. Yes, the universe is for it, and Trump is a tool of the universe, whether we like it or not, because we're all here in the universe. They're not separate. There's no separation. That's what we got to get. There's no separation. And so just because something can look like it is an enemy doesn't mean it actually isn't really benefiting you when you understand how the cosmos works. And if you tell the story that it's all beneficial, if you know how to use your power and your energy and your mind and your focus and your words, Trump is my motherfucking servant. Trump is serving me to my highest and yet to be. Racism served me into my highest and yet to be. We don't understand who we are. And for us to continue to negotiate the terminology and the experiences as if we are only these physical beings and not multidimensional beings, like, I am a multidimensional being. I am a cosmic being. I don't care. Like these people can't harm me. These people can't harm me. It's everything is in service to me. The universe, the trees, the sky, everything is protecting me, right? So I understand the nature of who I am, and I understand the nature of who you are, because I know that you are like me, especially if you are in a melanated body. Yes, they all work for us in the larger picture and the smaller picture. They work for us in every picture. It works for me in every single way. There is not a way that it doesn't work for me. There's not a way that it doesn't work for me. Honey, you got me dancing and shouting. Yeah. So it's we have the capacity to really wield reality with our words. We are melanated beings, which means that the cosmos lives inside of us, and it's powerful. And so we have been conditioned to think lesser of ourselves. We have been conditioned to assimilate to the reality, this what we see with our eyes. We've been conditioned to believe it as all that there is. But it is not all that there is. This is like a big Disneyland that is collapsing. It's an illusion. It was never real. It was never meant to stand. It was never meant to stand. And bless all these people for hundreds of years who have come here to do the American dream. They literally all gave up their own nationality to come extract the energy and resources of Black people. And they've been here for hundreds of years, extracting, whether they know it or not. Maybe they're not conscious of it because that's not what's told. That's not the story that's told. That's not the marketing. But what's really always been happening is that people have been coming from other countries, giving up their own heritage, their own culture, their own lineage to come here and benefit from the energy and the resources of Black people. And if you don't understand what Black people do in this country, and what you don't understand what Black people have always done in this country, go do your homework so you get it. And now this man is dismantling it all so that we have access to our power. We no longer have to negotiate on the terms of these old agreements of oppression. And here's the thing that it's also important for us to know, that nature uses everything. So what does nature do with oppression? Go look at a coal. When a coal is profoundly oppressed, what happens? It becomes a diamond. So Black Americans are the strongest, most diverse people on the planet because we have endured generations of oppression. So that makes us enduring, durable, strong, diverse, because we have had to learn how to figure it out under the most extreme circumstances for an extreme amount of time. And everyone has benefited from that. Everyone. And now the energy comes back to us because the cosmology is changing. This isn't political. This is divine. This is divine. And because people don't understand nature and how it works, folks are clamoring now. Ah, oh my God. Yeah, well, you've been standing on somebody's neck for 400 years thinking that you were doing it yourself. I mean, I know it's a lot going on, so I don't want to really make light of it, but it is what it is. And people will, humans will, who want to thrive and survive will find a way to do it. If you want it, you will find a way to do it. And you can, because this shit is over. That's right. This shit is over. So with that, the moon is in Sagittarius. Get really clear about belief systems, the stories, the narratives that you are letting go of. One of the ones that I'm really letting go of is that I have to give my energy and power to others outside of myself in the forms of oppression and romantic relationships and jobs, or like I have to my energy gets to be extracted. I am letting that go and calling all my power back to me. I call all my power back. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. If you need any support, you can check out healwithmoonmama.com, and I'm happy. I am open for coaching. So if you want to book a coaching package with me, come together, work with me for 9, weeks or so, and we really work on helping you transition these belief systems and these, because it's not something you can just snap yourself out of, or you can just think yourself. You have to really do the work. I'm giving you the skeleton, but the work has to be done. And so if you want to do the work, come and work with me. Tomorrow we are going to have our orientation for Daughters of the 13 Moons tomorrow evening. And if you're interested in joining Daughters of the 13 Moons, you can go to my link tree and sign up for the orientation, and we will meet tomorrow. Okay. Peace and blessings. Bye bye.